Welcome to another episode of Clips and Publishing Author Conversations. And today I get the privilege of speaking with Katharina Spurling-Kaffl. And we are going to be talking about a beautiful book. I have a version here, an author's version. And it's a lovely picture of your Pat. How should I say?
Late husband.
Late husband, Slim.
Maybe you stumble because he's still around.
Sorry. Okay, so for those who may just be discovering him for the first time, who was Slim Spurling?
Slim Spurling was a very extraordinary man. And he was an inventor, he was a researcher, he was a scientist, he was a self-taught herbalist and blacksmith. He was definitely an artist, and he was very humble. So if you hear all the descriptions that you would put into him, he would call himself, I'm just an old hillbilly. But he really was so much more. He was just amazing. I mean, I didn't even talk about him as my husband when he was alive because I felt like he's not mine. He is here for the world and not just for me. So he was, he was really, really amazing.
Yes, and you get that throughout the book, his extraordinary mind and his vision and just his goals to make the world a better place. But
exactly.
But what was it like in regular day, like in just, everyday life?
Sometimes challenging.
Okay.
And I mean, Slim was very focused on his work, and he loved his bacon and eggs for breakfast and his coffee. I think he had probably a black coffee in his veins and his Lucky Strike, and he loved my good Bavarian meals. He enjoyed that. He enjoyed a good laugh, which not everyone, thinks so. And he was always open for people to, you could call him in the middle of the night. If he wasn't asleep, he would answer the phone, and he would literally talk with you at 2 or 3 in the morning. He was so curious, and he wanted to share. He wanted to share with his knowledge. He was not someone holding back and, oh, that's mine and I cannot tell you. No, he was open. He wanted people to know, and he wanted to learn. So, and in the daily life, work was his main focus. And if he would get a new book that a subject he didn't know about, he would just sit down and study and study. And whatever he did with focus. I mean, he was just so, if it was changing a tire or if it was painting a wall, he was focused. The same in the shop. That was Slim.
Sounds extraordinary. So what specifically was it that drew you to him?
That is a really good question, because I was asked to translate for his first workshops in Germany, because I have been translating at different workshops. I was obviously not a professional interpreter or anything like that, but I have had, people just like my translation. And what was good, because I had no idea about the tools. I had no idea about sacred geometry or quantum physics. I knew a little bit, but it was kind of the black under the nail. So I wasn't really not there. And then he sent me a workbook that he handed out at his workshops in the US. And when I started reading about the tools, and at the time he only had 3 tools. He had a coil, a feedback loop, and personal harmonizers, and that was it. And so I'm like, what? That's what people can accomplish: clean the air, or healing broken bones with a coil, and and relieving pain without any side effects. You didn't need to take a pill. You didn't need electricity. It was so simple and so powerful. And then his way of finding geopathic stress, harmful earth lines, and how to block them, because usually Taoists will say, oh, you have to move your bed, you have to do this and that, and he said, no, you do this. And so he was coming to teach that, and so I was on fire. I was super excited, and I said, oh my god, his inventions have to go out in the world. And I just thought, oh, I hope he's nice, because I really want to help him to get those out into the world. So I was basically more in love with first in love with the tools, and later I was in love with him. And meeting him was just like, oh, this familiarity. Nice to see you again. I mean,
Mhm.
everyone, I think, had the feeling you meet someone for the first time and you just know the person.
He sounds fascinating, like fascinating. Um, so he had become known as the creator of something called light life technology.
Mhm.
Um, do you know what inspired that invention and what he was hoping to achieve with it?
Well, he stumbled um, to a ring, and I have just a big one. I forgot to put smaller ones here, but this is one of the light life tensor rings.
Okay.
And how he came to creating that was when he was together with a group of friends, and someone said, oh, with a piece of wire you can heal or cool a building. And when this gentleman left, then they were like, sitting together, what else can you do with a piece of wire? And he put the ends together, and all of a sudden the clairvoyant jumped up and said, oh my god, and so she saw a light tunnel coming out of the surface of the ring. And that was just a simple copper wire, not what we have now. If you look at this one, you can see that it is twisted.
Yes.
Okay. And if you take a normal ring, like if I take a finger ring,
Yeah.
that is not twisted. And so the first things were just normal wire, but they had a positive side, a right spin, which is good for us, and they had a left spin. And so the left spin had harmful effects. And so Slim sat down again and said, okay, how can I make it work? And because he was a blacksmith, so he was already an alchemist. The blacksmithing definitely got him into the alchemy. And then he came up with this idea to twist the wire in a way that you have a right spin on both things. So when I use this ring, I can put it this way, or I can put it the other way, and I don't have to worry about is one of the sides beneficial and the other side not. And what he really wanted, because in the early 90s, when he created the first light life ring, he he told me that Denver was known for its brown cloud, because Denver was so polluted. I think it was on the top 3 most polluted cities in the US, if not on number 1. And so he was so disgusted about that, and he said, we gotta do something, we gotta find something. And so when he found the first ring, then later he came up with another device called the Aqua coil. And I should have got one here, but let me get one. So this is an aqua coil, and we have them. We use 3 different cubic measurements, and so this is the empowerment aqua coil. But what is important with the coil, if I want to pull out something negative, like if I have a headache, I hold it that the beat is away, and then I go out further and further, and so it's pulling basically out the pain, the discomfort from an area where you put it. If you're in a meeting and people are too loud, you can put it on the table with the bead away from the noise, and so it's going to pull in the negative stuff.
Amazing.
If
That
more
is
energy, then
absolutely.
like my immune system is jeopardized, I put the beat towards my timers because to help activating more T cells to boost my immune system. So that's basically the Aqua coil, how it works. And Slim was very practical with his names. The
Yeah.
first one when he tested it, and Clairvoyant said, yeah, this side they could see that gray comes in here and that light comes out here. And so he said, oh, like a vacuum cleaner. One end sucks, the other one blows, Aquabac. So this is how he came up with the name. And so, but what he really wanted, he wanted to find a solution for air pollution. And so he came up with creating the harmonizer. And this is a very elaborated one, but the harmonizer is basically the standard harmonizer is made out of 3 rings, and then put the Aqua coil inside so that the harmonizer create a coherent light field. And so they are emanating negative ions, which are beneficial for us, and they override the positive ions, for example, for tornadoes and hurricanes and stuff like that, and for air pollution. And so this is what he wanted to find a solution for the air pollution in Denver, and then moving it worldwide. And then when he came up, the first harmonizer was a small one, about golf ball size, and on March 18, 1994, he did with 10 friends the what's called the Denver Clearing Project, because he had a special frequency on a tape, and they were playing for 1 hour. They started in the south of Colorado, in Colorado Springs, and then several in Denver and Boulder and up to Fort Collins on strategic important places. And for 1 hour, they're on the frequency in a loop. And then that was basically the turning point for the air pollution in Denver.
Wow. That's
And
fascinating.
yes, it is. And now they are applied worldwide. We have
Yes.
harmonizers on 6 continents. So that was my intention when I started helping, meaning getting the word out, that I wanted to have them worldwide, and they are now on 6 continents active.
So do you think that that's the most impactful invention that he created?
Yeah, I think, the harmonizer is made out of rings and coil.
Yeah.
And so, the rings, they come in different sizes. And so they work inside the ring. So this one you wouldn't wear on your wrist, obviously. That's
No.
why we have a smaller one. And the smaller one has been helping people with heart issues. One gentleman had heart problems for over 30 years, put the ring in his shirt pocket, and it helped him to strengthen his heart. And last time I heard, his heart was healed. So, or a friend of mine, a writer, she say when you work on the computer, right on the left arm, and she was doing a lot of writing with her hands, and then she couldn't even, her fingers were stiff, and she put the ring on. It helped her. So I think the ring, the coil, and the harmonizer are the 3 most important inventions, and everything came out of that. And yeah, it's I came across them in 1997, and my excitement about them gets more than less. It's beautiful.
I'm sure that there's so many people who have had amazing transformations in their life because of it. But I'm also thinking that there's probably some people who misunderstood or maybe were skeptical about it. Um,
Yeah.
what do you think? Like, what do you think was the biggest thing that people were skeptical about?
Well, Slim never tried to convince people.
Okay,
And
good for him.
he never tried to convince people, and neither do I. because first of all, the results speak for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and because the tools are based on quantum physics and sacred geometry, and quantum physics makes it very clear that it depends on the person using it. So we would never tell someone, oh, do this and that's going to happen for you, because if you are not ready for a positive change in your life, the tools won't force you to anything, you know.
Yeah.
And what really impressed me with Slim at his workshops, and that was in 1997. He didn't have all the knowledge he had 10 years later, but he would just say, well, I don't know, you try it and then you get back to me. You know, he was never someone who thinks, oh, I'm the master, I'm the one who knows it all. He was really humble, and he had no problem to say, hey, I don't know, you know. If
Yeah.
you find out, tell me.
You did say when you described him initially that he was humble. And so that sounds like a man who wasn't out for accolades. He's literally trying to make change and
Yes,
improve people's
exactly.
lives, improve the
Yeah,
world.
he didn't. Um, he was not after fame. He was not after, you know. He didn't even want to have a business because that was not his thing. You know, he was not very good with numbers. He was great in writing, and the research was just mind blowing. But when it came to numbers and business, that was not his thing.
Right.
And so this is why
That
I
makes
was a
sense.
good. I came at the right time because I
Yes.
say what you created has to go out in the world. It's not possible that only 5 people in the whole planet know about it and distribute them. And he
Yeah.
didn't want to
So
know
you've put
about it.
this
And I said, uh-uh.
you've put this into this book form. Why did you
Yeah,
feel that it was important to do that in this particular way?
you know, because in this book, I mean, the first book was Slim Spurling's Universe, and that is out of print, only available as ebook. And many of what he was saying in the first book and in the second book, In the Mind of a Master, we compiled that with other transcripts we had from workshops, from talks, and personal notes. And so this is why I just felt to honor his work, and for people who really want to get to know him better, that they can just yeah, learn the process what he went through. And you know, I mean, Slim was a lifelong learner. He always was eager to learn more.
So while you were working on the book and putting it together, did you learn anything new about him? Something you
Yes,
didn't
there's
know?
always something new to learn, you know.
Okay.
And just also being reminded, you know, it was so funny when I started putting it back together, because sometimes you forget about things, and it was like, oh my God, I can't wait to read this book, you know, because it was like refreshing, and just understand how open he was and how curious, and that he, if there was something he didn't know and he felt it's important for him, he would not stop until he had the knowledge that satisfied his needs, you know. So he was yeah, and just, yeah, let's do this and see what happens, you know, this explorer
Yes.
uh mind.
Yes, I love that. So if he were here today and he were to read this, what do you think he would want people to take away from the book?
Well, I think for Slim, it was so important that we always keep learning, that we never stop. And just because someone says this cannot be done, don't believe it. You know, ask the question why, and look for and be open that it might be able to get done. You know, there was a belief you cannot do anything about air pollution. He proved it wrong.
Yes.
And so this is what I think what he would want everyone to be open-minded, and never say never, you know. And don't believe a diagnosis just because someone says this is going to happen. You know, I mean, look further and be open that it might be possible to make changes and that they are out there, because there is no such thing as a problem without a solution, you know.
That's a beautiful message. I think it's very important to keep people's faith alive in humanity and in science and in the world. So
Yeah.
good for him.
And we and if we are looking, I mean, when Slim started, I think he was way ahead of his time.
Yes,
He
absolutely.
was way ahead of his time. And what we notice now, I just did a workshop in Germany last weekend, and how much more open people are. We had scientists in there, and how they understand the tools, and they can do the measurement and all the stuff. I'm not the scientist. I just love what they are doing, and that's what I'm focusing on, you know. But I just want people to be inspired when they read this book, when they just say, wow, look at what he did, and what is it that I can change in my world? What have I believed? And and challenging the beliefs we have. We all have beliefs,
Yes,
and it's
yes.
important to just say, I always believed that. Maybe it's not like that.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. So, the book is launching on his birthday.
Yes,
Was that done
intentionally.
intentionally?
Totally, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because we tell people Slim's birthday, activate your harmonizer. When they have those people who have an harmonizer, it comes with a CD, and then we want them to run the CD all day long, and just to see, because the more harmonizers we have, the more light is on the planet, and they interact. And so we just want to honor Slim by celebrating him and have the harmonizers activated. And this is why I think it couldn't be a better day for the book to launch exactly at his birthday.
I wonder what kind of energy force that would create with everyone doing it all at the same time.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
a it's a beautiful legacy for him. And I love
Mhm.
that you're continuing on the education and letting people know about it and speaking about
Mhm.
it and having people come and being excited and it even growing even more.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
so I just have one last question for you. If there was one message that you hope the readers can carry with them after finishing The Alchemist Vision, what would it be?
Yeah, exactly what I just said. I just want to people go out and be curious, be open-minded, and just challenge the beliefs and look for other ways. Create your own reality. Don't believe uh, what is right now has to stay right there, and just go out in the world and make a difference and believe in miracles and create the reality you want. That's what Slim did, and you can do it too.
Katerina, it's such a beautiful message and it's I think really needed right now in this time in the world. I
Absolutely.
Yeah, kudos to you. And I'm sorry that your husband's no longer here, but you are honoring him in the best way that I think you could, because this is going to reach the hands of so many people, and so many people are going to learn about it. And you're going to inspire people, like you said, to not just accept what is and know that growth is life.
Yes, absolutely. And the Light Life tools are here to support your growth. They're
Yeah.
not going to do the work for you, but they can support your growth when you are open and make this planet and your life and the life around you better. That's what Slim wanted, and that's what we hope you are focusing on too.
Oh, such an amazing message. I'm so excited for this book launch and for you. And I know that he's probably somewhere smiling and so excited about it too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I believe so. He's still around.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was such a great conversation. Thank you so much, Katharina.
Thank you,
Um,
Lisa.
okay. I'm going to say that's it for now for Author Conversations, and stay tuned.